what's up, everybody? It's another episode of Musicians Forced to Podcast by Harlem, Hayfield. I'm Mikey. That's Brandon.
Yo.
Hugh's behind the camera. And I started breaking out old books.
What is that?
It's a Jesse Cannon book. It's Processing Creativity. It's a great book, but open it up. Open up the first page.
I'm scared.
I want you to see ridiculousness.
You were holding that book like a maniac.
My dog has fits every once in a while when I'm not home too much. And she ate the table of contents out of that book. But yeah, you can see the page numbers and stuff.
When you kept telling me to open this up, and I thought this is how the book came. Like, that would be very clever.
Yeah, it's like, reimagine the table of contents.
Yeah.
No. But what I was saying was I've been digging into old books and stuff.
Who's Jesse Cannon?
Jesse Cannon does like music marketing, and he does studio work out of New York. He's worked with a bunch of like punk bands and indie bands and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Misfits back there.
Yeah, he's worked with a bunch of different artists, and now he does a YouTube channel where he gives like musician advice. Check out Jesse Cannon's channel. It's called Musformation on YouTube. It's fantastic. He's awesome, full of information.
And this is
really
called
smart
Processing
Creativity. He's got a couple books. He's got that one. He's got Get More Fans that talks about like the more music marketing stuff.
All right.
What I was getting at though, what the moral of the story is I'm tired of the cold. I am sick of winter and I want to be outside. I want to be playing festivals and outdoor shows. So when it gets cold, I dig into books more.
Oh.
When it's warmer, I'm out in the yard.
We finally got there.
What's crazy is like we're coming up into February, and looking back, if I was still doing First Gig, we would be planning a fundraiser right now. We would be going around to shops and businesses and getting
I was thinking about that
donations and stuff. We'd be walking around the streets of downtown in the cold, asking for handouts to give out as raffle prizes and stuff like that.
First Gig rock camp for kids.
Well, what's First Gig?
First Gig was, it still is. It's a rock and roll summer camp for kids that I brought it to Decatur. It started in Danville under a guy named Pete. I went over and job shadowed him one year, and I was like, I want to bring this to Decatur. Come teach our guys how to do it. So that was 2013. So we had the first Decatur camp in 2014. And then I ran it up until last year was my first year of not doing it. After 10 years, I retired. It was so
great. Mikey wasn't there last year. We were like, God, thank you. Yeah. God, finally.
I didn't mind either. So likewise, buddy.
Actually, last year when Mikey wasn't there, nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. That's the truth.
That's what I heard.
It's a learned thing. I didn't know what I was doing either. When we first year, we had 18 kids, and it was like a week-long day camp where you could sign up for vocals, guitar, bass, drums. It was in Eisenhower High School.
No air conditioning.
Eisenhower does not control their own thermostat. They have to call the Kyle building, and the Kyle building adjusts their thermostat to what they request. So it was the middle of summer, school's out. They didn't give a shit. Also, I don't know if you know this about teenagers. They are not always the most hygienic little human beings.
They sweat. They stink.
So you put 8, 6, 10 kids in a classroom in the middle of July with no air conditioning, and they're rocking out.
They think they are.
Everybody's armpits are creating all that friction. Ugh. Oh, by the end of the day, dude. Ugh.
You had to feel like you were in a real grungy... You were getting started band.
You had to feel like you were in a warm turtle tank. It just smelled like bad. Whatever bad is in your mind.
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
Like. Yeah.
Why are your descriptions so fucking so on the money? Dude.
But it was fun, dude, and it was really helpful to a lot of kids. We were able to work with kids on the spectrum. We were working with introverted kids. We were working with everybody.
We've seen them all.
Yeah, we've seen them all.
Every kind of kid.
And you get to see them like, because I ran the camp from 2014 was the first year I did it. And then it was 2023 was my last year doing it. So that was 10 camps where some of these kids, like Kyle McMillan, went to he was playing percussion in Honduras and South America and stuff with Milliken and got a scholarship and stuff. When he started, he was one of our year one kids in First Gig, never touched drums in his life. And his first audition thing, his introduction thing, he was like shaking, terrified. But we watched that kid's become a
Kyle's
beast.
A badass drummer.
Yeah.
Like I would love to have him in my band today. Like he's that good.
So yeah, after 2023, I hung it up. 10 years was enough. We were getting really busy with Hayfield, and it's easy. It's easier. I mean, it's still a gauntlet for the musicians because like you have a head of guitars, and all the kids that learn guitars, can talk to this guy. You have a head of bass and drums and vocals. And
like
then every band has their own band leader. So you have usually a multi-instrumental person so they can help kids on all different kinds of instruments.
So we had 2 guys that were head instructors. Hayfield did.
Not 3.
We usually have
Chris
was okay. I didn't know Chris
was a band leader. Graham was a band leader, and Brandon was a band leader.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think Chris was only a guest instructor since I joined.
Yeah. Because I mean, he used to have a lot more what am I looking for?
Free time at work. Leeway.
Slack. Leeway is the word I was looking for. Leeway in his schedule. But
the entire our entire band is involved.
I mean, you and Keenan have both been guests.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Since I got involved, I had only ever seen Chris as coming in like with me and Keenan as a one-day instructor.
Yeah, Chris was a full band leader for years.
That's awesome.
Right. Yeah.
And for a long time, like when I started first gig, I was still singing for Point oh Eight. Point oh Eight was the first band I ever started. Cool. And I was 30 when we started that. I never did the Hall of Justice. I never did any of that. That was all before I came
Hall
into
of Justice
the scene.
Was Brad Hirsch, who is another band leader.
Yeah. Brad Hirsch was another one too. So I found it as a nice way to network with all the musicians in town. Everybody in Point oh Eight, that was their first band. So it wasn't like we were part of the band scene or knew anybody in there and shit. So it was a nice way to introduce ourselves. But then that carried through. Like that's how I met the people that I played with in Neverland. That's how I met you guys, Union Square, the acoustic band. So it was a lot of, like, aside from helping all the kids learn how to do the music, it was a nice way for all of us musicians to network with each other. And basically it was like camp for us too. We just hung out all week and
I say that
drank after hours.
I say that every year at the final concert, when I get up, they introduce me and my band, my kids, my band. I say this, and I'm changing it up this year, but like, I say the same thing, like, we all get together in the summertime and it's like a big family reunion. Like all these musicians that I grew up with and we all played in different bands and we get to be here in the same room for a week and blah, blah, blah. And last year when I said that, Megan, and when I got done, my girlfriend, Megan, she says, it seemed like, I don't know, it seemed a little uncomfortable when you were saying that. And I was like, yeah, I've been saying that for a long time. I got to change that. Like something else has got to happen.
I mean, it's not like you're lying, but it's become kind of a canned response.
Yeah, I just keep saying it, over and over.
But it's not wrong. I mean, like I came in as I was a late addition to the local music scene.
Yeah.
I was someone who was doing video and music was a part of my life, but it was just something I did at home or with my family. And it wasn't until I started going, I kind of want to branch out a little bit that I met you guys, jumped in on
the Christmas thing.
Yeah.
The Christmas time in Soy City.
Yeah. There was a Christmas show in the community.
Well, I had known you before that because your wife and my sister were friends that worked together and stuff like that.
So there were a lot of like paths crossing and stuff, but it wasn't until I actually like put myself out there and
honestly, I don't even think I knew you played keys back when we would see you at like Brewworks and stuff. I had no idea you were even a musician.
People I worked with for 10 years at the newspaper were like, "What the fuck?" When I started, when I started playing with you guys, they're like, "Wait, you're doing what?
You play?"
They're like, "Yeah, you're doing music videos for whose band?" And I'm like, "Mine." And they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a musician. And
I do big things."
Yeah, and they're just thinking like I'm tinkering around, and I'm like, "No, I'm serious about it." But it was cool coming in and being like, "Oh shit, there's this whole network of people here in this city.
Yeah, it's just
that are all coming together to,
It's not. What's the right word? It's not blatant.
I don't like that word.
It's not loud. Like, I mean, like we all know 20 musicians that we could call or hit up on Facebook or something right now, minimum.
Yeah.
From here in town, and there's a chance that none of us would even overlap that much. I mean, there's a large group of musicians in town, people that can play, but they're not always so out in the open about it. How much they know and how well they can play and stuff. They're just not. They're not loud about it. I'm not gonna say they're not out of the closet, but they play shows.
But jumping, they're not diving out into the spotlight.
Right.
I was like, I don't want the pressure on me. Like, if you stand like, I like telling stories.
Yeah.
And people are like, you'd be a great stand-up.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, with practice, I don't think I would be terrible.
Right.
But there is such a huge difference between sitting back at a party, and if somebody says something that's an opportunity for me to be like, hey, here's a story from my neighborhood that relates to that, and surprise you with a funny story, versus me standing in front of a crowd that's paid and saying, all right,
oh, see, I'd have
be funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's so different. Yeah. And it's the same. It's been the same with me for music my whole life. I've been like, I've always wanted it to just be something where it was a pleasant surprise for somebody.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't want to be the guy at the party saying, everyone shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you don't want to feel
and come over to the piano
pressure
and get ready to get your panties wet.
Who's good at that?
Chris?
Yep.
Yeah.
Chris Lorash is good at.
He can command a crowd.
He's good at what you're talking about, what you were terrified of. Me too.
Yeah. He's
great at that.
Because he can back it up.
That guy will go into a room. He's our guitar player.
He's a natural at it.
He will go. He does it on purpose. I
can do it, but that's because I've had to from doing first gig for so many years and things like that.
I have to say this. Maybe I've said this on this thing before, but I got to say it. But like, so we played Lunar Jive Machine.
Yeah,
we played a New Year's Eve show at the conference center, way out. Okay, whatever. And it was a bunch of money. They gave us rooms, whatever. And so we're playing the show, and we realized that about 20 minutes to the end of when we're supposed to play, to get all this money, we're running short. We're running short on songs. And so I'm playing guitar, and I walk over to Chris while I'm playing. I'm like, bro, we got to do something. We got to stretch this shit out because we're out of music, and we have to do something.
Right.
And Chris is like, I got you. And I knew he did. As soon as he said, I got you, I was like,
cool.
Not only
relieved.
Not only does he got me, but this is gonna be fucking hilarious.
It's gonna be good.
Whatever's gonna happen, right? He just said, "I got you," and I knew it, and I believed him, and he did. And so, and somewhere it's on video. I'll find this for you too in post.
Hell yeah.
But we're at the conference center, New Year's Eve, and he was like, he started a dance contest. So we're playing. We were playing fucking Brick House, right?
Okay.
Right. He comes over to me. He put his guitar down. He comes over to me. He's like, "Bro, just keep going. Just keep playing." He gets to the microphone. And he was like, "Hey, we're doing a dance contest." He gets everybody in this place out in the front of the fucking stage, and he's on the microphone, wireless. He goes out into the crowd. He's telling all these people, you do this, you do that, whatever. Started a conga line, all kinds of shit. And bro, then this went on way too long. Like,
yeah.
Now you're going over.
We only needed 20 minutes. This went on for like 35.
Oh my God.
And so like, we got a winner, and the guy won $20. He won $20. Chris pulled it out of his wallet. He was like, $20, you win.
And you know what? Nobody in that bar knew you guys were stalling for time.
Right.
Everyone there.
Yeah.
Everyone there was like, that was the tits.
He does have it naturally like that.
Chris could have been a stand-up comedian easily.
It's a good thing to have. I I work with Wes Riley, and he's been doing mics. Oh, and he's funny as hell. And stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't seen his comedy, but I know
I caught him at an open mic night or two.
Yeah. And I don't know, dude. I got mad respect for those guys. Well, I mean, you guys know I listen to comedy podcasts and stuff constantly, and I don't think. I know I can be funny, but I don't think I can be ready, set, be funny.
Yeah.
That's like,
you're funny all
fucking
the time.
Airplane food, am I right?
Yeah.
I would just go hack immediately. Just sitting down like this, having a conversation, I can throw in some quips and stuff and be fine.
I've always called it like I'm either a type A introvert or a type B extrovert. I'm a combination of the two.
I think they call that an omnivert now.
I'm an omnivert. I'm somebody who fucking loves the spotlight.
But don't look at me.
I will take it all day. If I'm in front of people and you're listening, I'll fucking keep talking until you walk away.
Don't put that spotlight on my face.
But I don't like the expectation and pressure of it. I don't want to be the one to say, everyone look at me.
Yeah.
If you're looking at me, hell yeah. But I don't want to be the one to manage the expectation and say,
that's one thing I have a challenge with in like booking or even talking about Hayfield. Honestly, because I don't like tooting my own horn, and I know we got the goods, and I'm not saying that from like an egotistical point of view. I'm saying that as that's feedback from people that have seen us. I know we got it, but I can't. For some reason, I can't be like, hey, we got that good shit. You know what I'm saying? You ought to come, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'll say, hey, I hope you catch a show. Humbly, you know, like come see us. I hope to see you.
I'm not cocky about it, but I think it's partially just because what you said. It's true. Like we're good.
It's just we have confidence in our own ability.
But also, like my whole life, I've been so like. I mean, I was just saying, like, don't like the expectation. Back-ish. And so doing video my whole life, making short films and stuff, anytime I would show somebody something, it would always be with a grain of salt. Like, hey, check it out. You know, hey, it's a local.
Done. The lighting was, you know.
Yeah.
That's so common.
Exactly.
That's so common.
Yeah, I'm always like, you know, hey, don't just, so you know, this isn't perfect, blah, blah, blah. Never with this band. And I think part of it.
Lorash gives me shit for that all the time. Like, to this day. I mean, like a couple of days ago, we were talking on the phone. He gives me shit for that, like shit that
prefacing shit, like
things that I write, things that lyrics or a melody or a guitar part or whatever.
Because you're trying to nip the criticism in the bud.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to knock it out. And that what that shows is your insecurities.
Here's what I made, and before you get started, here's what I hate about it.
What's going to happen here is if any of this podcast shit like goes anywhere, like you're gonna have like a bajillion haters on here talking about you guys think your fucking band's the best, you know, whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you know what,
you can't avoid it. I mean, but the thing is, funny, it's not even that it's the best, it's just that we are good.
It is the one thing in my life I am 1,000% confident in. Like, if you don't like it, that means it's not for you. But it doesn't mean it's.
I'm the best there ever was.
Right.
I get up in the morning, I piss
saying that your band is the best is saying that you are putting it above another person's band. But that's an objective point, or that's a subjective point of view. Look, that's like saying
I am better than the choirs of angels and Nephilim.
Well, you can't judge art as a contest. That's like saying I like squirrels better because fish can't climb trees.
I won an art contest in animal. 4th grade.
So did I.
A what?
An art contest. What was yours?
Mine. I drew a barn.
Clay dinosaur.
All I had to do was color in a picture of a clown, and I won a 6-foot tall stuffed clown. And my dog Lucky fucked that thing up and down the house so hard. He would literally be humping it while he walked through the house. He'd be like, and so I'd grab the head of it and I would pull it
while stuffed animal, not
while he was
head.
Fucking this clown. And I'm like, hey, check it out. And I would drag it past my dad watching the Bears game. And the dog's like, and I'm just like, hey, check this out. And he's like, don't do that. And I'm just like, look, he's making noises. And he's like, he's about to don't do it.
Was your dog named Lucky because you guys are from Canaryville? I mean, you know, like the leprechaun thing. Like...
His face.
Oh, because
he's like,
no, it wasn't a luck of the Irish thing. It was he was lucky to be alive because he bit every single person in the family.
That's a huge difference.
Wow.
He was a mean ass mutt.
So it wasn't an Irish thing. It was a safety thing.
It was a safety thing. Yeah, okay, he literally bit all of us. God, he was a mean fucking dog.
I had a cat like that named Snowball. Yeah, when I was my mom.
That's because you.
But like, dude, my cat. When I was, bro, this cat. My mom adopted this fucking cat My mom was never around. Like she was, you know, so she was either at work or at her boyfriend's house. Like we raised our fucking selves, but like
Gen X, man.
So she had this fucking fluffy white cat named she named it Snowball, and she adopted it. And this cat, there was a reason it was adopted from the fucking shelter because it was so fucking mean. Nobody wanted this cat. It was so goddamn mean. Ask Chris Lorash, dude. This cat drew blood on him many, many times. In fact, there's a story where Chris put the cat inside of a grandfather clock and shut the door because it was fucking him up so bad.
Put him in timeout.
Anyhow, so Snowball was in my house, and this fucking cat. Where am I going with this?
I have no idea. I'm just along for the ride.
Hugh. The dog.
I was talking about my dog fucking a clown.
Well, how did we get to that?
His name was Lucky because he was lucky to be alive because
he was so fucking mean.
Because my dad was like, "We're putting this dog down," and me and my brother were like, "No,
yo, dude, he was so fucking mean.
We love him. Ow,
he was so mean. So Snowball was so fucking mean, just like that, right? And dude, every fucking my mom's gone. She's at Ed's house. She's at work or whatever, and this cat's just running around the fucking apartment, fucking people up, scratching them in the face. Right. And
my dad never swore. Early in the morning, he would drive me to school at like 5:30 in the morning because that's when he drove to work. And I was like, take me to school. That way I don't have to. I'll do my homework there, and then I'll take a nap.
Catholic school, right?
All male Catholic high school, De La Salle Institute.
Woo.
And so 5:30 in the morning, I just hear, son of a bitch. And I'm like, Dad's swearing.
Oh, shit.
The dog did something.
He was nuzzling up on the dog like, good morning, Lucky. Lucky bit him right in the fucking face.
Oh,
and he's just like, God damn it. And so he's trying to like kick him, but the dog's under the bed and he's like, you motherfucker. And I'm just like, normally I would like take my time getting up and he'd have to come in and tell me a few times, like, we gotta go. I hear that and I'm like putting my tie on, like, I gotta fucking go.
You had to wear a tie to school?
Yeah.
Shit.
I'd wear a tie and a belt. And if you didn't have a belt, I'd wear my extra tie as a belt and I'd tie it around there and be like,
damn.
Hey.
Did you have a rope at your school?
What?
Like when you were in school, you're a couple years older than me. You might not have happened back then, but when I was in high school, that's when sagging and shit really got popular. Sagging your jeans and shit.
Yeah.
And at Eisenhower, if you were sagging, they would send you to the principal's office and they would take a piece of rope and tie it around your pants. And you would have to wear a rope belt for the rest of the day.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. They would embarrass you with the rope.
At our school, we weren't allowed to have facial hair.
Yeah.
And your sideburns couldn't go longer than your ears, and your hair couldn't touch your collar.
And you couldn't dance.
Yeah. And
I went to school like that.
But they if you did have a 5 o'clock shadow, they would make you use the nasty communal electric razor.
And you would just have the hairs out.
You would just have to wipe it off with an alcohol pad and stand in the dean's office and just have it yanking out hair, leaving fucking. So they really incentivized you probably want to shave before you come to school.
I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't grow any facial hair until I was like, I mean, I probably could have because I shaved all the time, but I didn't have a beard or mustache or anything until
that shit was patchy as hell.
26, 27.
When I was a kid, for 1 year, I totally understand what you're saying. For 1 year, 4th grade, I went to East Park Baptist Academy. 1 year.
Where's that?
Sounds like they know how to party.
Well, it was in Booty, Illinois.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually, if you go to Booty, which is 4 or 5 miles from here, if you go to Booty, you'll still find the school. It's still there. The building's
I want to fill in the people of YouTube real quick. Illinois, right outside of Decatur, does have a town called Booty, Illinois.
Boody.
Yeah, it's Booty, not Booty. And I always wanted them to have a street festival and call it Booty Fest, but they never did.
Well,
I think they're missing the mark.
Dude, that school that was there, it was there for decades. And it was run by East Park Baptist Church in Decatur. And for so maybe 30, 40 years, they ran that school in Booty. So when I was a kid, I went there in 4th grade. And the rules were your hair could not could not touch your ears. The girls, they measured their skirts. They could not wear pants, but they measured their skirts. The skirts had to be below the knees.
My grade school did that too.
Yeah, there was lots of rules.
Couldn't wear pants because then they'd be lesbians and they'd be ringing the devil's
There was
doorbell.
all kinds of rules like that. And so, like, if your hair was touching your ears, you go to the office and they cut it for you. Yep. If your fucking skirt was above the knees, you're going home.
I never had any dress codes or anything like that. I went to Washington Elementary.
You did not go to a Christian school ever.
I went to all hood schools. I went to Washington Elementary. Washington's closed and tore down now. We used to have to stand inside and wait till our parents pulled up because there was drug busts going on across the street during school hours. So we had that.
At our Christian school at East Park Baptist Academy, the fucking, the principal's son, I can't remember his name now, but like the principal's son, when I was going there, so he was like maybe a sophomore or junior in high school at that time. And that kid, he went to prison. Huge fucking drug bust, dude, like cocaine, crack, whatever, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I mean, it happens at Eisenhower and other shit.
Yeah.
But in the Christian community,
unheard of. Oh.
I could tell you some other stories.
I did Washington. I did Thomas Jefferson for junior high. I think they were the first school in town to have metal detectors, and then went to Eisenhower.
To have what?
Metal detectors. Yeah. And then, I don't know how much time we got. 3
All right.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes till we're out of film.
We're
shooting this on 8 millimeter, whatever. I don't know, film. We're shooting this on Betamax.
We should probably just wrap it up, I guess.
Yeah, we probably should. I don't know if there was anything in there.
There's some good shit
worth
in there.
But hey, maybe one day you'll see this on YouTube. Hey. And if you do, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and all that shit, and come see us when we're in your town.
Don't do it. No smash.
Kind of
smash the buttons.
Smash that button.
Smash the like button,
yo.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Later.